Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, I'm continuing my Disney movie marathon. And again, we'll be reviewing another sequel. And this sequel is the one titled Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. Oh yeah. I know it's getting to the time of year for Christmas, but I'm reviewing this rather early because, well, for my Christmas, well, technically it's just for my Disney-a-thon. I do want to do a Christmas-a-thon, but I can save that for later, so I'm doing this one rather early. But, oh well, I guess. But anyway, moving on, I'll talk about more Christmas stuff later on, I guess. But anyway, folks, I'll be reviewing the first sequel they made for Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. And of course, as usual, let's get into the plot of this particular movie, shall we? Oh yeah. In this particular film, folks, it pretty much is this direct-to-video animated Christmas musical that was produced by the Walt Disney Studios, but specifically the Walt Disney Television Animation. The story for this particular movie is set in the period of the 1991. Just to be more specific in this particular setting of this movie, this film takes place in a period of time shortly after they had a fight, this run-in with their werewolves. So, right after that, it takes place right there, folks. So, if anything, this movie is like a side thing, I guess. So, yeah, anyway, folks. In the movie, pretty much, the Beast had forbid Christmas because of his transformation from a particular time period, I guess. From the prince occurred at that time of the year, coincidentally. So, of course, Belle is being a bit rebellious because she definitely wants to convince him that this can be a good holiday for him and everyone else. Not surprisingly, folks, after the success of the first Beauty and the Beast film, another film was of course inevitable. This was placed on the direct-to-video market because of that, which doesn't make any sense in my eyes because of the fact this film could have been a theatrically released film as well, but I don't get it. Just keep in mind, folks, that this movie is supposed to be like somewhat in the middle of the original film, I guess. And yeah, I guess that's in some ways the problem in itself. There's no necessarily good reason to go and continue from that particular point of time. Just seems really needless, if you ask me, folks. Oh yeah. If you ask for my honest opinion here, folks, that's a really stupid way to do it, folks. For example, look at the Star Wars film, the Star Wars The Force Awakens, for example. You remember the boss, ugly-looking guy from that one planet when Rey was pretty much working for? Let's just say, let's have an entire movie on his angle, on his side of the story, and takes place from that point of view, pretty much. Is this necessary? Nope. It really isn't necessary. Yeah, let's talk about his whole backstory while we're at it. How about that one scene where she's on the side of this machine here? Yeah, let's have a whole backstory on that machine for no reason. Yeah, let's do that. Rather than just exploring the characters a bit more to feel like an actual genuine sequel, so let's instead talk about this machine right here and how it was built on every single detail. Ooh. That's pretty much how I felt about this movie, folks. Really pointless. So yeah, there was no real reason for this film to exist at all, just to pretty much cash in on the original. I mean, granted, it's better than some of the other direct-to-video sequels I've seen over the years, sure. But still, folks, the animation isn't quite as good as it should have been. So yeah, in some ways, it's kind of an eyesore. I mean, it doesn't have the worst animation ever made. Granted, sure, but still, folks, I didn't like it as a whole. End of the day, folks, this one was not very good. I mean, it's not the worst sequel I've seen, but it's still pretty much a letdown. A very disappointing sequel. I'm thinking, what was the ultimate point of this film? I mean, it didn't expand on anything. It didn't really talk about any ideas or themes that were brought up in the original film. It didn't develop anything or whatever. I mean, this is a missed opportunity, folks. This is so so disappointing. It's a missed opportunity. They could have explored certain angles of the characters. Maybe it could have focused on the Beast more, or maybe it could have focused more on Belle's family tree. Since if you're one of the people that really do think that Disney anime films are connected, especially with the all the princess movies, like how Frozen is supposed to be connected to Tangled, and somehow those two movies are connected to Little Mermaid, which is somehow connected to Beauty and the Beast somehow, and Beauty and the Beast is somehow connected to Tarzan, and somehow Tarzan is connected to Frozen. They could explore that a bit more. They could have just, done that here. And somehow Brave is on this. Somehow they could have, but oh boy, couldn't it be like a Halloween kind of thing? I don't know. Why specifically Christmas? I don't know why. Maybe just me, I guess. It isn't my favorite holiday, but I don't know. Maybe have the characters meet up on a Halloween night or something. I don't know. Maybe have some sort of festival and make that play into some theme on top of the history of Halloween and whatnot. That would have been cool. Right, I guess I'll just get the DVD right here, folks, and place it. Here you go. Yep, let's punish it. Yeah, there you go. Some bits and pieces. Smash, smash. Already. Yeah, I don't want to watch this movie ever again, folks. I really don't recommend it. It's not something I will call a classic ever. That's for sure. Alright, put this in the bucket. Yeah, my Disney bucket. Of course I'm gonna buy it. Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Here we go. Hey! You tell me to watch this bad movie. That's all it's all over the place.
You destroyed it.
Jordan, you see, now these pieces are all over the place. They actually made a third movie, folks, here. And that just makes this film even more needless, if you ask me. Because of the fact, what happens here does not get mentioned in the third film. So, again, what? That doesn't make any sense, really. This film does attempt to have a good story. Unfortunately, there's not much of a story to speak of, really, folks. So, I don't get it. So, yeah, the character motivations aren't really there. They're just there just to talk a little bit. The character's motivation, if you want to call it that, is pretty shallow in a lot of ways, folks, and I didn't like that. So, yeah, the characters, along with the overall film, just comes off extremely shallow. Really, really shallow as a whole, folks. And I didn't like that. So, I know this film was aimed for kids, folks, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to have a poor story overall. It just comes off rather boring. No, it's just really, really boring. The film does attempt to introduce new characters, but unfortunately, they're pretty boring. Really, really boring. So yeah, there's a villain character or whatever, but the villain of the story doesn't really amount to anything. Like I mentioned before, this character was never mentioned ever again, which makes this film even more pointless than necessary, if you ask me, folks. Yeah, I'm good to see the yellow dress, which of course you automatically think of the original film, which I'd much rather be watching at the moment right now, folks, than watching this movie. Characters are forgettable in here, folks. Dialogue isn't really all that well written. And yeah, it doesn't have much of a budget, really. I mean, of course, there's some money that's been placed into here, folks. But, all in all, folks, this feels like it shouldn't have been made in the first place. So yeah, it comes off like a quick cash-in, and that was it, folks. At the end of the day, you're not going to remember any of the new characters and whatnot. It just comes off as bland, boring, and just a total lackluster of a film. Yeah, it does attempt to have a story, but not much of it, so it's pretty much straightforward, very straightforward storytelling, folks. Yeah, that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but in this case it is, because it's not well executed at all. To make matters worse, folks, of course we're going to have some sort of cliche story right here, folks. How many stories are there about someone who hates Christmas trying to stop it, and then somehow show how awesome this holiday is? Yeah, I've seen like that kind of a movie a billion times before. So yeah, Very, very generic storytelling right here, folks. Doesn't even bother to do a whole different spin on the whole Scrooge story. Yeah, basically, the Beast is Scrooge in this movie, folks. Because he hates Christmas and he wants the holiday to stop forever. He doesn't expand on anything, folks. He doesn't bother talking about some angles of the story, maybe that were left out from the original. So come on, now. The original was based on a book, so you mean to tell me that you couldn't find any other story? Just go to the library or something, or buy some books and look through it and just read it. Maybe that can inspire a good sequel. So yeah, what I'm saying here, folks, it lacks material for a good sequel here, folks. There's nothing really interesting. The pacing of this film is pretty bad too. I did not like the pacing, really, folks. Yeah, felt like it was all over the place. It felt like it took forever to finish, actually. So I really didn't like it. I really, really didn't like it at all, folks. I mean, okay, that's quite obvious, but I would say for those who have not seen this movie, I would say skip it. So yeah, in a lot of ways, some people had felt that this film kind of ruined the original to some degree. And in some ways, can't really blame them for that, folks. But they're just saying, yeah, this one is such a letdown. It's incredibly needless. I mean, yes, there's the whole Christmas thing, but it really wasn't all that enchanted, really.
Ah, Mr. Monkey. No. Bad monkey. Bad. No, I'm not getting these movies. No. No. Bad monkey. No. I said no. These movies are awful. Ah, no. No. Get out of here.
Yeah, I know the theme here was supposed to be about Christmas, but the thing is, they don't really talk about Christmas all that much. The meaning behind it, or whatever. I know some people are going to be out there that believe that Christmas is more about Jesus, the whole biblical thing. If you believe in that kind of thing, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you for it. But they didn't go. They didn't even go in that angle either. Not saying they have to, but just saying. They could talk about that a little bit, and maybe about the history of Christmas as well, and whatnot. And a lot of people believe that Christmas has been around before Christians have been around. I'm not saying they have to go into that deep into Christmas or whatever. I mean, they can if they want, but I don't know how it's going to play out into the main plot. But whatever. But what I'm saying here is that they could have dove into the history behind it. Yeah, family's family, regardless on how you look like on the outside. I guess asking for more plot development is too much of a request for this movie, isn't it, folks? Yeah, folks, this movie is way too simple for its own good. Too simplistic. Not even the music was all that good, folks. Just this entire movie comes off rather lazy, extremely lazy. The songs are not very memorable at all. Beauty skin deep or whatever. Yeah, have some sort of message behind it that will unite the family and friends or whatever. Maybe you don't have to be blood related to be considered as a sister or brother or whatever. I don't know. It sounds a little corny, I know, but whatever. Again, it's just a wasted opportunity that went nowhere. It just came off totally meaningless. It just came off. This was just made just because of the fact the first movie was highly successful. I bet you that if the first Beauty and the Beast film was not successful at all, if it were considered as a box office failure, there would never be no sequel. I guarantee that. But this is so disappointing. I mean, if they want to cash in on something, at least make something good. But folks, let's just skip this. It is available on Blu-ray if you want to buy it. But I'm just talking about the regular DVD one. I didn't bother buying the Blu-ray copy. I mean, if you're one of those people that want to buy it anyway and just have it in collection, you can, I guess. But I don't think I would ever buy it on Blu-ray. Anyway, folks, Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas gets an overall rating of 4.9 out of 10. He gets a 4.9 out of 10. And of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. See ya. Oh yeah.